Welcome back to Virginia This Morning, live on CBS 6. Who doesn't love warm baked goods right out of the oven? If you love chocolate, get ready to write this recipe down. It's another shamefully delicious creation that we want to share with you.
We're in for a treat today. Shamefully Delicious. Shayne Rogers joins us again with a tasty recipe for flourless keto chocolate cookies. I am delighted to test drive this recipe. Shayne, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. I wish I had some ready for you to taste.
Well, I can practically, I know, I can practically imagine, and they're right there. This is, okay, so flourless, keto-friendly chocolate cookies. You know, right now, flour is not that easy to come by from time to time, so this fits right in if you're trying something new.
It does. It totally does. And if you're, the one thing I want to say is that this is a recipe. It's not my recipe. It's from Wholesome Yum. It's Maya. And she is a great place if you're looking to move toward keto or low carb. She has super simple recipes. And I kind of always do a riff off something that she did, but it's a great place to start. So let's get started with the cookies. I'm going to start with 1 cup of powdered erythritol. Now that's a keto sweetener. If you are starting keto, you may find that you need to test out some sweeteners because not all of them taste great to everyone. Sometimes you have a little like cooling reaction. They're not bad, but you have to pick the one you like. We've got 1 cup of powdered erythritol in here. I'm going to add 1/3 cup of cocoa because who doesn't want that? And 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Give these a little mix. And the other thing I want to say is sometimes the powdered erythritol gets a little clumpy. So this morning, special for television, I ran it through a sieve with a spatula just to make sure that it's perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate that extra step.
Right. And so just sometimes it's clumpy, sometimes it's not. If it's not, you're good. The next thing we're going to add is 2 egg whites, which is about 1/3 cup. If you have, you know, eggs can vary in size from medium to jumbo. We're just going to add 1/3 cup of egg whites in here. And a teaspoon of vanilla, because vanilla makes everything taste better. And we're going to give this a super quick stir. It's going to look like there's just not enough liquid and it's really dry. And I'm going to mix for just a little bit and cross my fingers. There it is. It's coming together. I hope you can see that.
That's funny. It was like a turning of the tide right there where you're thinking like, uh-oh, I need more liquid, but then it just starts to come together.
The first time I made them, I was like, no way this is going to work. So the other thing we're going to do to give it a little bit of bulk is we're going to use some unsweetened, all natural peanut butter. We're going to use 4 ounces of that. And that's going to mix it in. Peanut butter and chocolate taste great together. But when it's flourless, you kind of lose a little bit of that bulk. So when we make it without the peanut butter, you get like 6 cookies. So this kind of stretches it just a little bit and kind of gives us a little more. Plus, if you really want, you can leave some of the peanut butter streaks so everybody knows that it's in there. And it kind of is super delicious. So it's pretty well mixed. I think you can see that. But you can also see not a huge bowl of cookies. This is not going to feed a family of 12. This is going to be a smaller bit. So in the meantime, when you're mixing these up, make sure that you've got the oven on at 350. And one more important step when you're making things for keto things, line your baking sheets with parchment. These are going to stick like crazy if you don't. Even on a non-stick sheet, I would probably use some parchment.
That's a great tip. And I tell you what, if you thought that was challenging to stir before, wait till you put the peanut butter in, but you're making quick work of it.
I tried. So the other thing I want to tell you about is just use a scoop that's like an ice cream scoop. So they're all the same size. And that means they'll kind of cook together at the same rate. We're just going to do a few on here because I'm going to show you a couple other quick trips. So these will make about 18 cookies that are about 2 tablespoons worth of dough a piece. And we're going to scoop these out on, like I said, that parchment lined paper. I'm going to move this out of here for now, stop scooping. And I'm going to move this over here so you can see it a little better. I got a spoon. I'm just going to flatten these out just the teeniest bit. And that creates the receptacle for some unsweetened chocolate chips. And these are a little bit hazy because they have been in the cupboard and they're still perfectly fine to use. If your chocolate does, it's just the fat kind of coming to the surface, it'll bake back up. I'll show you how they look after they bake. It'll be fine. I'm going to put a bit on here. And these are going to go cook for a good 12 minutes or so, just until they start to come together. I've got one last thing I'm going to put on here, and that is some flaky sea salt. This is that fancy Malden salt that I love. And that kind of just plays well with the chocolate, just a little pinch on top of all the peanut, on top of the chocolate chips. And that's it. The cookies are ready to go in the oven for about 12 minutes. And I'll show you. I have some done, which look beautiful. But if I hadn't used the parchment paper, they would totally stick. And even to the parchment paper, they still stick a little bit. You got to peel them off. So just kind of be aware of that. Make sure if you don't have parchment paper that you really grease the pan, or be prepared for some cleanup.
A great tip and a delicious looking recipe. Shayne Rogers, you've done it again. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. Chocolate and a little salt. I'm ready to go. Let me go find that parchment paper.
Absolutely.
We'll be sure to share this recipe on our website later today, WTVR.com/VTM, another one from Shaynefully Delicious that you can try at home.
Bill,
wow.
I wish we had some of those right about now. I think that should be a requirement that, okay, you got to send us some cookies in advance so we can try them out too.
So Shayne, and you know, when those of you who remember the days when we used to do shows in the studio and she would cook for us live there, normally after she finished fixing whatever it was she was fixing, because I love Shayne, she's such a sweet lady and just a wonderful person, I would usually propose marriage at the end of the segment. So I'd just like to say this, Shayne, if you're watching remotely at home, the offer is still out there, girl. I don't bring a lot to the table, but you bring all that food to the table. So yeah.
Well, as long as you meet her at the table, then I think the food will go to good use. So, hey, I think it's a pretty good deal.
So far, no taker on that.
All right. Well, keep trying, Bill.
Delicious.
Keep trying.
You know, I've had some of the keto food that Shayne made early on, and usually it's like, yeah, these are cookies. They taste great. Or this is a hamburger and it tastes great. If that's the key for me, you can be vegan or whatever. As long as it tastes good, I'm in.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was interesting that she put the salt on top of the cookies. I had never put salt on my cookies before, so I'll have to try that. Really cool.
Well, we all like salt, we all like sweet, and so we mix them up every once in a while, and it definitely does work. All right, folks, as they used to say, don't touch that dial. You don't have a dial anymore, but don't touch it anyway. It's dangerous. Don't do that. We'll see you on the other side of the break.